When you take a wiring harness out of a 65-year-old car, this is what you see. A lot of rust, a lot of broken bulbs, half-lit bulbs, connectors that don't fit anymore, hacked wiring. This car was hacked up. I've said before that it was raced, and they had converted it over to an alternator, so they hacked a lot of the original wiring up. But here's the original wiring harness. It's not very complicated. Check this fuse box out. You might get a giggle out of it. Yes, that looks like aluminum foil wrapped around that fuse. There's some more hackery going on here, but this is the original fuse box. I cut some of it out because this part, I believe, passes through the well, I don't know exactly, I can't remember where it goes, but in any event, there was a lot of hackery going on here. Lots of insulation had been worn off the wires. It's just not safe. So as long as I'm going through the car, I'm replacing this. So I'll show you that I got a brand new harness to go in. I'm replacing this fuse box as I showed you earlier. This fuse box is going into the parts bin, the scrap heap. I'll keep these around for some of the connectors because I think I'll be able to use some of these connectors. Like, I think I need to put one of these connector ends on the heater, where the heater wire connects to the harness. But in any event, this is a 65-year-old dash harness. YouTube, just saying hi from the bench seat of my 57 wagon. Can you see what's happening here? The dash cluster is out. Guess what that means? A new wiring harness, a new fuse box. I'm putting a new speedometer lens in the dash cluster. Just doing some rehab. I'll show you all that in a while, but first off, you'll see that I had to drop the column, take the steering wheel off, pull the column back to get the gauge cluster out. There are 4 bolts that hold the gauge cluster in after you drop the column. I have already stripped out the old wiring harness, and I'll show you that shortly. But looky down there, I took out the old fuse box, and I have a new fuse box in there. Now you can see it better. There's a brand new fuse box. I have it mounted right above the kick panel, right on the kick panel. It's a blade fuse, modern fuse box, brand new wires. It has the proper clips to hook up to the original wiring harness. This is a much better upgrade from the stock, and I have a still picture I can show you. I can tell you where I got it from too, so that you could replace the fuse box in your car. But when we were fooling around with the car last week after the disc brake conversion, we were gonna take it for a spin to test the brakes out, and we had starting problems. One of the wires had come loose behind the starter switch, and looking back there, the wires were worse for wear. The fuse box looked kind of janky. It was on my agenda eventually to replace it, so it's gonna be now. We're gonna take care of all this. We actually got a new wiring harness for the engine too. I'll show you all this shortly.